Belly, be quiet. It's like we're gonna have a stare off. I should have probably sat up. Would have been a better idea. Um, I wanted to stop by for a couple of reasons. One of them was that I was watching a sermon just now, and Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts was talking about the expiration of isolation. And it called me out because she was saying that God can meet you in the isolation, but He transforms you and then He releases you. And for the majority, I speak a lot of Spanish now every day, so everything's getting mixed up. Um, for the majority of my life, I felt isolated because she was saying that you could always be surrounded by people, but you would never really feel like you are a part of the group, or you could be surrounded by people, but you simply felt like you were just not a part of the group. And I felt like that my entire life. I believe I've talked about that on here. If I haven't, well, now you know. And some of the people that know me, they'll be like, girl, what? Because I've kind of always been the life of the party, or the jokester, the prankster, the clown, whatever. Um, and always bubbly, always a little crazy, a little wild, right? But all of it felt in isolation. And I've been walking with the Lord now since April 2023. I failed last year, November. Um, and I feel like ever since then, nothing has been the same. I've doubted myself plenty of times. I have doubted what the Lord has told me plenty of times. Um, it shaked me up to the point where I just, I was just not having it. And I was also like, I'm not listening. I'm not hearing from God. As simple as that. I'm not hearing from Him. And there is nothing that could, convince me. Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? So today, um, I had been talking to God this entire week, and I was telling Him how I had been feeling, how I felt about everything. I even remembered that at this point in time, um, I would have a toddler, and I looked around and I was like, but I wouldn't be able to even, like, give this toddler a life that he deserved. Hello, hello. So as I'm looking around me, I'm just like, I don't even know how I'm even standing, but here we are. Hello, hello. So today, my friend received a word from the Lord when she spoke to me. And as she was talking, she specifically said, stop blaming yourself for things from the past. Hello, hello. Happy, happy birthday. Um, she said, stop blaming yourself for the past. And she has no idea what I've been talking to God about. She has no idea the mental struggle I have been in, or the mental battle I've been in. She has no idea what has gone through my mind in the past couple of weeks. She only knows like snippets of what she sees, but she doesn't really know what's going on in my mind. And that's the problem with many of us, that we have so many mental battles going on. We have so much internal conversations, and there is no one that knows about it other than you and God. And sometimes when you allow those voices to be louder than his voice, you can kind of block him out and not be able to hear him for yourself, because you're so convinced that whatever the enemy is trying to feed you is what is true. So this week has been that. I need to get up. I'm getting them now. This week has been just that. So when that word got to me, stop blaming yourself for the past. As I'm listening to Pastor Sarah just now talk about there's an expiration for isolation, I decided to get on here and share that with you. Don't blame yourself for things of the past. You have to realize that many of the things that have happened in your past were things that you couldn't control. If you are a new believer, a new Christian, or you could be even an old Christian, there are some things that keep you guilty. Um, and some things the enemy will simply use to keep you in isolation or to keep you in a place where, you got comfortable in, but you're not supposed to grow out of because it's not convenient for him for you to grow out of it. And there comes many points in our lives where we start breaking these patterns and we start breaking these lies and we start breaking out of these stories that we used to tell ourselves, that he starts to attack with new things. And when these things start coming up to the surface, instead of letting them go, we allow them to sit there for a little too long. And for the past couple of days, I've allowed those things to sit there for a little too long. So, in a way, I had been blaming myself for the past and for every single failure that has happened thus far. Because walking with the Lord wholeheartedly and doing the right thing each and every day is hard. And failing the Lord and knowing you're doing it wrong makes it even harder. Because I know what I had with God before. It's not close to what I have now. I feel like before I had way much more access than I do now. And it's not because he's not there or he doesn't want to give me that access anymore. It's because of what has happened and what has transpired and what I allowed that stops me from going full in, like fully into it all again. Like I can trust and believe that he's talking to me for other people, but I don't trust and believe that he's talking to me about me or when it comes down to me. And that's hard. But if you feel identified, just know that you're not on your own. Tonight I got in my Uber and I was talking to him and we were talking about free will and I told him about what is free will. I told him it's like we have free will, but at the same time we don't. So he's like, break it down. And I did. And at the end of the day, he was like, um, but free will exists. I was like, yeah, but whose will gets done at the end of the day? And he's like, God's will. I'm like, exactly. So what is free will? God will make sure his will is done one way or the other. And there is no free will that will stand against that. So as I was speaking to him tonight, after the day I've had, you haven't seen me for months. Thank you, Leah. Or Light. I'm sorry. I said that right. I said that wrong, sorry. Thank you. Um, but as I was saying, I've been away for months. I don't even know how many weeks, how many months I haven't been on here, but there's many words that God has given me to share with you, but I just didn't share them with you. Some nights I would just come home and just go to bed because my agenda is very full now. And I don't want to stop doing what I was doing before the blessing because I don't want to be one of those people that receive a blessing and then just forget about everything else. Instead, I want to be the person that shows up and gets involved even further because of the blessing that's been given. And it's not convenient for Satan for me to do that. It is not convenient for him to even for me to get on here and talk to you about any of this. And I have no idea if I'm even making sense right now, but if you're catching it or you have anything that spoke to you, Let me know in the comments down below. And if you know anyone that may be going through it, send a video to them. And if you, many times we go through things and people don't even know, right? They don't even know. So I don't blame you if you don't know anyone who may be going through the same thing. People are good at hiding things, but they're good at hiding things from people, not good at hiding things from God. I regret being sideways on here. It hurts. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. That I have been thinking of all my life. And believe me, I haven't lived much life, but much life has been lived in the years I've been alive. Um, and none of it has been nice. I don't think I've told myself I'm proud of me. I don't think I've told myself that I've overcome things that I never thought I would. I don't think I tell myself enough that every single person who told me I wouldn't be able to make it were wrong. I don't tell myself enough how good and how brave and how strong I am. And just talking about it makes me emotional because, one, I don't tell myself that. I'm pretty sure you don't either. We're just so willing to always like bring other people up, but bring ourselves down. And I am a pro at being not only a perfectionist, but also holding myself to a standard that is almost impossible to reach. And I've been so hard on myself the past couple of months. Um, and I could say the past couple of years, but more so the past couple of months. Probably the last two, no, more than that. I've been very hard on myself these past couple months. And these past couple weeks have been rough. Um, and I haven't felt like the right person to talk to you or the right person to bring you what the Lord is speaking in my quiet time. I remember this girl telling me, now that you're a part of this group, don't talk about your past. Because you being here makes you a new person now. You being here eliminates everything you went through. Don't talk about it because basically no one wants to hear about it. And that stayed in the back of my mind because I am ashamed of what it has looked like. And I'm ashamed of everything that has happened. But that shame was brought up even, I guess that shame was placed in a higher spot because of what she said. And it was somebody that I looked up to. And I was like, yeah, they don't do it. So why should I? But the reason I should do it is because at the end of the day, we all go through things. At the end of the day, there may be somebody at the other side of this video, either rewatching this video or finding this video exactly when they need it. That they've either been feeling the same or about to feel the same, and they will know that somebody went through it too. It is so fake when other people just decide to like be like, no, I can't be that vulnerable. No, I can't talk about my past. No, I can't do that. Well, today is the day that I tell Satan, be quiet. Because he's tried to destroy me many times. He's tried to make me destroy me many times. I feel like he stopped using people a while ago because walking with the Lord has protected me from many, but now he's using me, my mind, my past. And it's hard. especially with the conversations that I hear on a daily basis. And I'm like, wow, people have been through a lot of life. And I'm included in that too. There have been many experiences that I've had that have changed me. Meeting Jesus, though, has been one of the best ones yet. But boy, it has been hard. And I think learning how to fully depend on God has been the hardest thing. Learning how to apply, how to listen, how to talk to Him, how to communicate, how to wait on Him. Extremely hard. It's not easy, but it's beautiful. And I think if I have any regrets, it's what happened last year. Last year, exactly 1 year ago. If I could go back to that day, I would. I definitely would. But today, I just wanted to let you know that we go through things all the time and to not be ashamed of your past. I've been scared to tell you about my miscarriage. I've been scared to tell you that I've been through divorce. I've been scared to tell you of the mess God took me out of. And I've put it in here and there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too obvious. And I'm like, I'll wait for the book. I'll write the book. But I won't give Satan any more tools to try and keep me quiet. Now you know. Now you know I am divorced. Now you know I had a miscarriage in that marriage. And losing that baby brought me to Jesus. And I look back at my life and I can't imagine my life with a little toddler. I wouldn't be able to at all right now as we speak. And I know for a fact that God knows best. Because sometimes we take our losses and we're like, we don't get over them and we hold on to them. But when you take your loss and you look at what you've gained or look at everything you've gained, you start understanding that in order for certain things to happen, other things have to happen. And sometimes it does take losing people. Sometimes it does take losing the thing you love the most. Because if there's one thing I have learned about the good Father that we serve, is that there is nothing that can come above Him. There's nothing that you can or should love above Him. And He knew, had that child stayed, that child would have become my everything and more than likely become my idol. And more than likely, I would have never been walking with the Lord. And you would not be seeing this video right now. Had that baby stayed, I wouldn't be who I am today. Probably be very naive and very lost. And very soon, you'll get to see or hear about how I found out and how the process went down to the day of the loss. Because I will no longer allow Satan to continue bullying me or bullying other people who could actually be saved or be seen by my testimony. Because at the end of the day, it's God's life, not mine. The day I said yes to Jesus was the day that this life became all His. And many people won't show you the weak sides. Many people will tell you all about all the pretty stuff, but they will not tell you about the behind the scenes. I had to learn the hard way that not everything that glitters, that everything that glitters isn't gold. I had to learn the hard way that I was very naive and there were many things I didn't know. I had to learn the hard way that it's better to focus yourself on God and what He has for you other than what you want and what society convinced you that should be your focus. If there's anything that I could do or I would take back, it would be not keeping my relationship with God when I was 10 years old, when I first started calling Him Daddy, when I first started talking to Him about every single thing that ever happened to me. The first time that I told Him how mad I was and how sad I was, that's what I would take back. Just going back to that 10-year-old little girl who had no idea what life even held, but she knew there was a father that had her back, and I wish I would have stayed there. But instead, I just walked right into a whole lot of life, and I lost that for a very long time. And then I found it in 2023, and then I lost it again, getting caught up in religion and all the things. I wish there were certain things that I could understand about myself, which I still don't, and I pray that I do eventually. Um, there are things that I would love to say and like try to discuss, but I don't know. I don't know. But for now, I feel like I've said enough. And this will probably be the beginning of something that no one expected, not even myself. And this will probably be a battle that Satan did not see himself getting into. Because he always thought I was going to stay in that little place, just being silent. And there are many people as well that will see it and be like, what? And to the person who told me to keep quiet about my testimony, to keep quiet about my past, I have to tell them to start talking about theirs. Don't let people confine you, because they do that with God too. They call Him the God of the impossible for some things, but for other things, He can't do it. But it's going to be His will above all. So I'm going to try my best to keep showing up and doing what He called me to do and sharing the words that I have to share with you and not backing down or backing away. But for now, this is where I leave you. He knew this day would come. He knew it would be, what time is it? 12:07, November 15th, 2025. A whole year after the biggest mistake of my life. But here we are. He said, don't blame yourself from your past, so that's what we're gonna do. Or at least do our best to keep showing up and keep doing better. That's all we got left. Doing better, knowing better, and not making the same mistakes again. So this is where I leave you. If this helps you, let me know. You can send me an email if you don't want to comment down below. But if this helped you in any way or form, please let me know. Because I can tell you this much, it wasn't easy. Boop. Will this video stay up? I have no idea. But if it's been a couple of weeks and you made it down the line, congratulations. I hope that in a couple of weeks I have better news, in a better mood, and just better everything. But at the end of the day, like, let God's will be done in my life and in your life, on earth as it is in heaven. Good night.